A lot of stuff just felt really good. I can't, point out one or two things, but just molded well together.
How good did it feel to go as deep in the game as you did?
Felt really good. It's been a while. I had some struggles recently, and it was really good to be out there and win, help my team win.
Can you take us through the process of being told you're going to go to the bullpen and the emotions of that to today?
Yeah. Most important thing is, I just want to be in a position where I can help the team win, no matter where it is. And, that was the bullpen the last couple weeks. And, got time to work on things, and a lot of emotions. Felt really good.
Was it sort of a reset for you mentally to sort of, Tomas told us after that he felt like you'd be able to pitch more free.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I agree with you. It was a mental thing. Just had to reset, get back into the groove of things.
Coach, when he was in here yesterday, he gave a pretty strong endorsement of you. He was talking about the confidence he has in you. I'm sure it's been a similar message, kind of closed doors. Mm-hmm. How important has that kind of been as you've been kind of finding yourself in the
Yeah, that's huge. They can't. It means a lot, especially coming from Coach Forbes, that he, has that trust and confidence in me, and I got to have it in myself too.
You said a lot of different things working tonight, but it seemed like you kind of mixed in the breaking ball a little bit more than recently. Just kind of how'd you feel? Yeah.
I actually didn't throw a single slider today.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, it was all change-ups today.
Yeah.
Fastball change-up. So yeah, my bread and butter.
Did this start mean a little more to you than maybe some of the past, kind of given what you've gone through in the last couple of weeks?
I think the biggest thing about this game in this series, it's a big game, obviously. The rivalry, NC State, UNC. So I think that was the biggest thing, and it was a lot of fun.
What is it about NC State? I mean, you seem to like pitch against the Red.
Nothing. It's just fun.
I don't know. You came off the mound a couple of times. It looked like you were extremely fired up. Is it just that you were pitching so well in your first start back, or was it NC State, or just a combination?
I think over the last couple of weeks, I've just learned to have fun, and that's the most important thing about this game, and it helped keep me loose, and just had a lot of fun, be myself.
Were there any doubts come into your mind when you did get sent to the bullpen?
No, absolutely not. I just, like I said before, the biggest thing to me is just, putting me in a spot to where I can, help the team win. And that's the biggest thing that matters, and that's what it was for that time.
Did you ever at any point later in this game start be able to go the distance in this one?
We can all wish and hope. I'm not going to say I was thinking about it, but I just kept pushing.
Have you ever gone 100 pitches before?
Yeah, a couple times.
Couple times.
Yeah.
Anything else?
We're good.
Thanks, Carl.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Quiet words. Good job, Miguel. How we doing, everybody? Great. It's like good tonight. How we doing? Everybody good? Story of the game, Max Carlson, obviously. Back in the rotation. He was phenomenal from the get-go. I know he didn't strike a lot of guys out, but we talked about you don't have to strike a lot of guys out when you command the ball like he's capable of commanding the ball. Just make your pitches. Let our defense play behind you, and our defense has really been ticking in the right direction. Also, I really want to point out Johnny Castagnozzi hadn't been in the lineup. Big swing in the bat for us, but also looked great defensively. I thought we played, for the most part, well, just the game. And, that's what you're looking for this time of year. So that's a big win for us, get the series. We wanted to come out here tomorrow on Senior Day and honor all these guys by getting a sweep.
At the start of the season, you told me you felt like Max could be one of the best pitchers in the country. Is what you saw tonight kind of what you envisioned for him this season?
Yeah, I really felt like he pitched. And he didn't use his slider that much because it's kind of hadn't been good. So we knew how good his changeup had been. But, yeah, we still feel like he is an elite guy that can match up with anybody. And personally, I feel like the teams we play, I think they feel like that when he rolls out there. I saw it in East Carolina when he came out of the bullpen. I think NC State, we found a way to win that game, and they knew that they had to face Carlson, same guy they faced in the ACC championship. They know what he's capable of doing. So I'm really proud of him because he's a team guy. He goes to the bullpen. He doesn't bat an eye. He helps us win that one-run game at East Carolina because his attitude's good. And then he gets rewarded, to be back in the rotation.
He said he had to learn how to have fun playing baseball again. Was that something you talked to him about or just kind of did on his own?
Yeah, what happens to these kids, because I've been through it a lot. I mean, every kid wants to play pro ball, right? I mean, that's normal. It's your junior year. Who doesn't think about the draft? It just can't come ahead of your team, but there's some pressure there because you're an elite guy and you want to get drafted. But we just talked about that, like, hey, go back to last season, and you guys talked about how much fun you had when we went on that run. You're going to play better when you make yourself understand that you started to play baseball because you loved it and you had fun. So I try to alleviate some of that pressure and just say, hey, when you guys come down here, I want Boshamer Stadium to be a release. I don't want it to be a place where you're tight when you come down here.
You talk about the pressure Casey puts on the opponents getting on base.
Yeah, I mean, he deserves it. I mean, I saw him this summer, had the shoulder injury. He really matured. He lived at our stadium. He lived in the weight room. He worked with Coach Gatz. He's completely bought into the culture of our program, doing whatever it takes to help us win. When you're that talented out of high school and you come in, you start the first game, and then you're on the bench, that can be difficult. Then you hurt your shoulder. But he just grew up a lot. And, I thought, fortunately, when I saw him, it was by surprise. We had another kid that was committed to us, and he was like a ninth grader, I think, maybe at the time. But I always thought that kid could really, really hit, and thankfully I was right because I've been wrong before. But, man, he's been a great presence, and how about how good he's been in the outfield? I mean, this is an infielder, and he's worked hard to get good out there.
You talked about Johnny's hit there, but your first 4 runs tonight all came with 2 outs.
Yep.
Just how important was that execution?
I mean, you guys know how it is. You got to get them on, and somebody's got to come up with a big knock. And Johnny picked up grunts. When we talk about having good at bats, sometimes the guy before you doesn't get it done. So trust the guy behind you. But I thought we stung a lot of balls. We looked balanced, and Coach Wiersbicki works his tail off preparing our guys for the other team's starter, not just obviously you talk about the relievers, but I thought our approach against Wilson was really good. I mean, that changeup is nasty. It's like a 40% swing and miss rate. And we went up there and we had the right approach, and over time it paid off. Even though we hit some of those off the end, he usually strikes guys out with that changeup. So the fact that we're looking for it, the fact that Coach Weir's had those guys out early, here's what our approach is going to be, it paid off.
A little bit better midday news today than yesterday, eh?
A little bit. Oh yeah. A little better what?
Midday news.
Yeah. No doubt. No doubt.
Contract
Oh
decision?
yeah. Like that's.
At least that's what I heard.
Yeah, that's great. I'm humbled and honored, and that's just. I'm thankful to be here. I've been blessed. I grew up in Sanford, North Carolina, so. To be coaching at North Carolina, to be the head coach, to me is still a little bit of a dream. Sometimes I have to pinch myself. You don't think about it when you're in the heat of the moment. You're just working your tail off, trying to win games. But as I've gotten older, I think about it more. Like, man, it's an honor, but it's also like something I don't take lightly. Being around these guys and hopefully making a lasting impact in their lives.
You talked about approach, specific at the plate. Whatever the streak was, runners in scoring position was bad there for a while.
Yeah.
I mean, what specifically has changed over the last few games?
Just really trying to get the guys to understand that they can't do it all in one swing. When you're struggling, you're going up there and you're trying to hit a home run, you're trying to hit a double. You look at tonight, we scored 3 runs in that one inning and didn't get a hit. But I think it was 5 walks and a hit by pitch. And, we were going out of the zone a little bit, and guys were just trying to be the hero instead of just having a great at bat and understanding that, sometimes you don't get a pitch to hit in the gap. I know you want to, and then trying to take it off of them and remind them how hard hitting is. Like, you're going to go through something somewhere. Every hitter and every team, like, you're pressing offensively because it's just harder than it is to pitch. So just remind them to try to stay loose. But we spent time just on the mental approach of like, hey, embracing it. You want to be in that situation. And then what are you looking for in that situation, right? Like, it's a different at bat than when you're leading off an inning. You're looking for something maybe, hey, if there's 2 strikes and the infield's back, like Stokely did at Virginia Tech, I'm just going to move the ball and get that run in.
Big picture, your outlook from 2 weeks ago has changed dramatically. It seems like.
My outlook has it.
I mean, the outlook for the
Yeah,
season.
yeah, you know,
Maybe the outside view, I should say.
yeah, I felt like, you know, it really took us a while to figure out the bullpen, in my opinion. You know, you go back and look at the early part of the season, and that's part of we had unproven guys but talented guys. But then, you know, understanding that it's a long season and not, you know, I'm just a big believer in trying not to ride, you know, you got to ride the wave. You can't get too high or you can't get too low because it'll affect your guys, especially if you start getting tight, especially if you start pressing. I didn't like that when I was a player. And I always said to myself, hey, if I'm a coach, I want to make sure that even if I am like on the inside, I got to try to hide it and just understand that in this game it can flip, you know, fast. You look at Virginia in 2015. They came here and they had to beat us to get in the tournament. They win a national championship. Ole Miss last year, all of a sudden they get hot. So the goal's always been to try to be playing well towards the end. We prefer not to be swept by Boston College, obviously. But I'm also a big believer if you have tough kids and you've got some talent, when that happens, you know, you should be able to recover from it and understand what we're talking about every day is being in the moment and staying with the process.
To piggyback off of that, to have Max have a night like he did tonight, to have Johnny back in the lineup, you had 2 come from behind wins this week. Does it feel like that clicking is kind of happening right now?
Yeah, you know, I feel like, you know, we bounced back really well from Boston College and beat Wilmington good. And then we go to Virginia Tech, and I really thought their guy was on. I mean, I thought he'd located everything. And, you know, everybody's going to say, well, they're, you know, Wilmington wasn't good and they're back in the league. And I just thought he pitched well. And I told the guys that. Like, I'm not trying to, you know, say that we want to tip our hat too much to him, but he pitched well. But that doubleheader, it got fiery. Our guys, like, they showed like they were going to fight and they're not going to back down. And, you know, when you win it like that and it gets chippy, that can help you moving forward. And I feel like they're playing with something to prove.
Last one.
It felt like, let me ask you, it felt
Okay.
like Mac on his team meeting, he questioned some guys a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Basically questioned their manhood. Why are they here? and it's sort of flipped since then. And then you have these fiery games, whether it's at Tech, Gardner Webb the other day, you got to deal with those repercussions. But has that all helped this team sort of?
Yeah, I mean, you know, Mac he's obviously our guy. And when he speaks, he's not going to speak unless he needs to speak, and that probably woke some guys up pretty quick. It would me, you know, if I was a teammate of Mac Horvath, I'd be like, oh, this dude means business, so I better get it in gear, or he might get me out of here. So you know, we talk about all the time when I meet with our couple leaders, like you have to be comfortable standing alone because you're going to be alone sometime when you're a leader, and you're going to make unpopular, you know, decisions, but you got to try to make the right decisions. And I feel like that's what Mac's going to do. He's at the point where, like, all he cares about is winning. And if you're not on board with that, if you have another agenda, you know, either he's probably going to get you out of the locker room or he's going to come up to my office. And those guys know if he gets to my office, it's going to be over too fast. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Appreciate
All
it.
right. Y'all have a great night. See you tomorrow, 2 o'clock, baby. What's up, Casey? Don't be nervous.
You nervous?
Casey, you're hitting over 400 in ACC games. What's clicking for you in league games more than non-conference games?
I don't know. I mean, maybe I raised my level, which shouldn't be the case. You should have it for every game, but obviously there's more energy on the weekends. So just being in the leadoff spot, I want to do my job, and I don't know. I guess I like I said, I raised my level unintentionally though.
Yeah. The on-base streak, I think, is 38, tying a Carolina record for a freshman. Coach talked about your mindset, and I asked about the pressure you put on the other team. Just sort of tell us about how your mindset is there and your goals there to sort of lead off the game, lead off an inning, any at bat to put pressure on the other team.
Yeah. So, I mean, the guys I have behind me, it makes my job easy. So I just lean off the game. All I want to do is find a way to get on base. And Coach Forbes talked to me when he put me in the leadoff spot, and he's like, just keep doing what you're doing. Whether, you work walk, you get hit by pitch, you get a hit, just finding a way to get on base and let the other guys do the work. So that's been the story the whole season.
Wilson, he's obviously a guy who's been around the block a little bit. He's had some success against UNC in the past as well. And like your coach talked about, that changeup's a pretty good pitch when it's on. Just what was kind of the mindset kind of getting ready to face him tonight?
Well, we went out early with Coach Weir. Coach Weir does a really good job preparing us. We have all the numbers, all the scouting reports we need. So we knew he had that changeup. We knew he threw the curveball a lot. And I think it was like 70% off speed, which is ridiculous. So we all kind of came up with our approach and like built that hours before the game. So I don't think, and I do think we showed we had that approach and we were on the off speed, and that kind of changed his approach because I think he started throwing more fastballs later in the game. But yeah, Coach Weirs does a great job, and we felt prepared 5 hours before the game. So.
You guys have been here before. You had a chance to sweep Georgia Tech, Notre Dame, I believe, and now it's a chance to sweep NC State. What's the mindset in that locker room about tomorrow specifically?
Yeah. Well, we've been in this situation a few times on the road, Notre Dame and I think Georgia Tech, where we were up 2-0. So we know who we handled at Virginia Tech the last day, and there was something in our dugout or just within our guys right before that game. We were like, all right, like we're bringing it. Because I feel like the first two series we kind of took the foot off the gas. So I think our mindset is like we're not going to be satisfied that we won the series. We're going to give them all we got for this third game. Mm-hmm. So
how about seeing Max? He's gone to the pen. He's come back. He pitched probably his best game of his career. What's that like for his teammates to see him do that?
Oh, it's awesome. And the relief it gives the offense when Max goes out and throws like that. I mean, it feels like you can put up 2 runs and we'll win the game. So that's awesome to see. And you know, you can tell his confidence is coming back, and it's a good time of the year for that to come back. So it's going to be good for us.
Casey, you talk about that mindset shift for the third game against Virginia Tech, but big picture, I mean, have you felt kind of that mindset shift as a club overall? Because really in the last couple of weeks, it just seems like you have kind of hit a stride as a ball club.
Yeah. I don't have a worry in the world about tomorrow. It just seems like the way we're playing. And like I said, it's a good time to be playing good baseball. So I don't have any worry that we're gonna come out tomorrow and play our hearts out. And I know you can't control the result, but we're gonna come out and play. So
you had to kind of sit and watch that NC State series last year as well as that ACC championship game. Just what is it meant to be able to kind of be a part of these 2 games and your big series win so far?
Yeah, it's awesome. I remember sitting in the stands last year, which is funny watching the game, but it's a great experience. And they always talk about the rivalry, and I think it's lived up to it for everyone. It's been a great time.
Do you sense a little bit of the vibe that you guys had last May kind of building up in this team?
Well, I wasn't there during that stretch, but I've heard about it. And the guys talk about it. I remember Vance told me, he said, during that stretch, it almost felt like a team could put up 5 in the first inning, and everyone knew we were going to win the game. So I think that's what they're talking about right now, because we do feel I know I feel it, and I'm sure a lot of the guys feel it. Like when the offense is clicking, the pitcher, like yesterday when Bovair had not one of his best starts, we felt like we'll get those runs back from him, and it wasn't a problem. So yeah, I think we are playing good baseball, and we kind of get that mojo and the swagger we needed.
Thanks, Case.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah.